to MotoMouths, the podcast for MotoGP, motorsports, and more. I'm your host, Zoe, and your Georgia Bulldogs kicked the shit out of Tennessee. Well, more accurately, Tennessee kicked the shit out of the Georgia Bulldogs, but Georgia Bulldogs rallied and beat Tennessee, and thus cementing a great start to a sport weekend for me.
I'm your other host, also named Zoe, and I don't watch college football. That's all I've got, I think.
I think we're going to have to make a change. I think you need to start watching.
If I watch college football, the college football I'm going to start caring about is UVA, and that's a bad decision. They're just really bad.
Yeah, it's a basketball school.
Yes, that's the whole point. I'm sorry. You will never get me. Racing, watching people drive in circles was the most boring thing to me when I was 10.
Okay, so we can expect that in 25 years. No. 15 years, you'll be into college football.
Also, still no. Football will never catch me. Taylor Swift did her damnedest. Football will never catch me. So you're telling me you had a great sports weekend?
I did. Did you?
Yeah, I really only had one event this weekend, and one of them made me really upset, but the other one was great.
Okay.
Should we talk about it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, so in the world of MotoGP, it was just recently Misano, in the great state of Italy.
I have come to be very fond of the Italian Grand Prix, both in F1 and in MotoGP, because they have 400 words in their names.
Oh, yeah.
This was the Grand Prix of San Marino and Rimini. Mm-hmm. No, it was the Red Bull Grand Prix of San Marino and Rimini.
At?
Misano.
No.
Oh, at the Circuit de Misano.
No.
It's so long. It's big Emilia-Romagna vibes.
This is the Red Bull Grand Prix of San Marino and the Rimini Riviera at the Misano World Circuit Marco Simoncelli.
It's too long.
It's so long. Part of the reason it's long is for Marco Simoncelli, who did pass away. He was a MotoGP racer. He was very, very close with Valentino Rossi, and he passed away, and they named the circuit after him.
Well, that's very nice. Maybe they should take out one element before they do that.
Yeah, leave him in there. He deserves to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Red Bull, get out of here. So Misano happened. Should we talk about our predictions first?
Yeah. You said Marc P1.
Sick.
Alex P2.
I was close.
Bez P3.
I was so close.
Frankie Morbidelli fail king.
Reverse curse.
And then you said, just as a bonus for Pecco, P8.
Which I wasn't far in general over the course of the weekend.
I said Marc P1, Bez P2.
Yeah.
Fabio Quartararo P3. Yeah, okay. Pecco fail king.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Taking that round home.
Yeah, I think, if we're really just looking at it in this singular moment, I do think you've won the head-to-head this weekend. It's fine.
The head-to-head, but not the leg-to-leg.
But I want to be so clear. Pecco Bagnaia did qualify in P8.
It's true. Where did he end up?
He didn't. There's so much we can talk about from this weekend that I'm dying to get into. But the first things first, I do want to give Marco Bezzechi his flowers.
His legs.
Also his third leg.
It was a weekend of third legs.
Oh, stop.
Oh, we'll get into it.
Marco Bezzechi, I think, had the weekend of his career so far. And I think
100%.
It's so fun because if I'm being totally honest, Marco Bezzechi is who got me into MotoGP. He just is so fun to watch, when he's having fun, and he's so talented that he just brings the whole package. It's great. For someone who has had, I think, really consistent highs and also very consistent lows over the course of his MotoGP career, to say that this weekend was one of his best weekends ever is a bit confusing. Totally get that. But I think it just makes he was firing on all fucking cylinders all weekend.
Truly, if Marquez was not Marc Marquez,
he would have led every session. He would have won everything.
Home run.
Marco. So it would have been a Bez home run if we're using baseball parlance.
A Bez ball.
Baseball. Anyways, we can't get bogged down in this.
He hits the ball with his wooden leg.
No. No.
Baseball.
No. Anyways, so taking a step back, Bez's weekend, I think, was so consistent. And we've talked about this before, where this is also due to Aprilia being so newly consistent over the course of a variety of tracks. Historically, they've only really worked at a few tracks and been kind of dog shit everywhere else. So this is like ultimately, I think, a huge win. Looking forward to next year, obviously things can change so much year to year as we see with Pecco right now. I don't know what Aprilia is going to bring to the table next year. I hope it's something similar so Bez can at least be consistent and feel consistent. But if Jorge Martin gets to the end of this year, he'll have acclimated enough, hopefully, that I think he and Bez will be on Marc's tail very much so next year. Remains to be seen if Pecco is also there. But I think those three, I mean, assuming they stay at Aprilia, I think those three are going to be the big names.
Very interesting. I would love to see Pecco fighting consistently like he is now, because it really is exciting to watch.
Do you mean Bez?
God, why do I keep doing that?
I was like, Pecco is consistent, I guess. And he is fighting the bike.
And it is exciting to watch in a perverse way.
Yeah. The schadenfreude of it. I want to say one last thing about Bez. We mentioned the wooden leg. The wooden leg is so fucking funny to me.
What is the wooden leg? His leg go jack?
Oh my God, that's such a throwback.
I've been waiting to use it.
No, it is apparently a reference to a movie that he mentioned in the Sprint like cool down car. He mentioned he's like, yeah, it's a super old movie made in 1997.
Fucking God.
And Bez was born in like 98. It's from a movie called, I think it's called Three Old Men and a One Leg or something. And it's an Italian movie where obviously a wooden leg can be neither alive or dead, but they pretty much like Weekend at Bernie's this leg to like make it to a wedding.
Why?
I don't know. Like,
do they all have one missing leg and they just like kind of swap it around?
Like
the three sisters with the popping the eyeball in and out.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, this leg? No, I don't think so. I have no idea. I'm going to be really honest. I didn't look that much into this movie other than like confirming he said what he said about it, which he then said, it's super funny and it's part of my childhood. So like, sure. And listen.
He's so weird, girl.
He's so like, I could talk about him for days. He's so funny. What I love about the leg is one, that it's personal. I just think like, yeah, why the hell not, dude? And two, this weekend was full of like campy MotoGP celebrations.
It was the campiest week yet.
The likes of which we have not seen in a while.
It was so silly. The goosery was
silly,
off
goofy.
The chart.
So silly, goofy. This is a notable mention for Celestino Vietti, who is another VR46 Academy guy who won the Moto2 race this weekend. Our fave little guy. He, for some reason, crossed the finish line and like did downward dog on his bike as a celebration. I don't really know. I think the spirit just moved him.
Okay, Yoga King.
I thought it was funny, and I was like, listen, we're all just feeling the goofy vibes of Misano, except for some people.
Except for Pecco.
Yeah.
Who was feeling the opposite.
Pecco, okay, this is a good segue, too, for me to complain and bitch and moan about Lando Norris bringing his shitty-ass vibe to MotoGP.
First of all, riding up with Jorge Martin, I was like, I don't like any of that, and I feel justified in it.
They met clubbing at Ibiza.
Ibiza,
which is like, yeah, of course y'all met clubbing in Ibiza. But here's what I want to say. I was watching things. I was keeping an eye on things. I was tracking the signs and the weather and the like eddies and currents of the universe.
Divining with your divining stick.
Right. Was I also finding pockets for wells? Yes. But I was mostly just listening to the universe. And that's a really deep cut of a joke for people from Appalachia. So hope you guys got that one. Those are for my people. Anyways, here's the thing. Lando Norris rocked up to the paddock, I think Friday night with Jorge Martin. Jorge Martin on Sunday, his bike on the warm-up lap says, actually, I don't want to be here. I don't actually want to do my job today. I'm calling in sick.
Things that come into contact with Lando Norris have a habit of doing that.
So Jorge has to then, because the pit lane is closed, he starts the second warm-up lap essentially from the pit lane and then assumes his original position on the grid for the race and then has to serve 2 long lap penalties. Shit luck. Seems like it might have nothing to do with anything, right? Wrong. Pecco hosts Lando Norris in his side of the Ducati garage.
Okay, Britt.
Sits on his bike.
Similar.
Similar.
It's fucked. It's all fucked.
Similar to how he sat on Jorge Martin's scooter, but an elevation, you know?
Well, he did straddle Jorge Martin's backside, which then sat on Jorge Martin's bike.
Right. So you're starting to pick up the layers here. The implications.
I'm smelling what you're stepping in.
I hate that. Anyways, moving on. He sits on Pecco's bike, clearly having the time of his life. I can't judge him for that because I too would have a blast. Pecco then fully DNFs on Sunday.
He does do that, doesn't he?
He does. So I just want to say,
I'm connecting the dots.
Valentino Rossi, watch your fucking back. Keep him out of there.
You know who was also in Misano this weekend, but only brought love and joy and good vibes?
Kimi Antonelli.
Kimi Antonelli, indeed. Yes, he was there.
Kimi was there. And Kimi was, I think, only there on Sunday. But he was very sweet.
With his deadbeat dad.
I mean, is it really deadbeat if he's actually there this time?
Yes, because Kimi came to him.
Ooh, you're right.
Bono dropped him off for his weekend in the McDonald's parking lot.
Oh. And then Valet was late.
Yep.
Oh, God. I want to discuss Marc Marquez.
What a
sentence
surprise.
I say every weekend.
A sentence you say every day.
Yeah, like you guys only hear me talk about this once a week, but I do in fact say that every day. And people are tired of it, I've realized. Anyways, no pity party here. I would like to make an official apology for believing even for a second that maybe Marc didn't want to win the championship in Misano and therefore he didn't try hard enough in Barcelona. I'm not saying that like I fully believed it, but I did think there could theoretically be truth to it. And this is my unburdening and apology to that because Marc very, very strongly had words for people who believed that.
Yeah, he called you out.
He did.
You specifically.
Like, not specifically, but specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a lot to say this weekend. And I think it's fair, right? He comes to Misano. Misano is a track that he enjoys. He is the winningest MotoGP rider in history at this track. He has a lot to prove. He's won Mugello, and now he has to finish the Italian doubleheader of Mugello and Misano, which he feels a lot of pressure for Ducati, not just for his own like title journey. He crashes out of the sprint.
Yes, he does do this.
This is really rough for me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Because he has an amazing start, like bonkers crazy start.
Yes.
From 4th on the grid, just like slices through everybody, ends up 2nd, and within a couple of laps has overtaken Marco Bezzechi for 1st. Like fucking a knife through butter.
It was sexy.
It was beautiful. I like went back and watched it again the other day. Just like
Rebel.
Last night. It was last night. So he crashes out of the sprint. I have a little cry. That's not important.
In many such cases.
Right. I do cry. It happens.
Specifically when Marc crashes out of things.
Yeah. And sometimes when he wins. I contain multitudes. He crashes out. I do, like, very briefly, I want to touch on this because it is what everybody is talking about right now.
Yes.
Which is the camera's following his crash. You can clearly tell there's a moment where he thinks about holding on to the bars and staying with the bike before he realizes this bike is going to start cartwheeling. There's a split second where he starts to hold on and then he lets it go.
Yeah. Smart move, Marc.
He lets it go. I know, for a guy who's like historically will always hold on to the handlebars.
That's growth.
Literally. He then essentially kind of rolls head first into the barriers, which is a whole other issue of like regulation, and these bikes are too fucking fast and circuits haven't kept up. He goes head first into the barriers. He's had head injuries before. It's fucked with his eyesight multiple times. He's gotten surgery for that too. Concussions. We know this in the States. We have such a problem with it for, football, CT. And Dorna, the second he kind of like pops up, Dorna immediately cuts to VR46 fans decked out in neon yellow and green, cheering and flipping him off, which has been widely criticized.
Yes,
which is so crazy because even a few years ago, I don't think it would have been.
Talk shit about Americans. One thing they will never do, American sports fans, will never, ever, ever cheer or celebrate in any way, shape, or form when someone is or could be hurt.
Oh, yeah. We don't do that. It gets real
Americans
quiet.
have the utmost respect for the medical workers on the field, for the players themselves. And I think, frankly, it is a perpetuation of European fan culture that is extremely toxic and goes into other areas like racism, bigotry. And they say they're more passionate, but they're not. They're just more hateful.
There's a level of classicism in there, too.
And classism. It's disgusting.
It
is
is
absolutely abhorrent that you would cheer when somebody potentially could have died.
This is not meant to be a gotcha moment, but it is incredibly horrifying to do this when Marc famously and very openly, vulnerably has gone through really horrible crashes so many times in his career that have, could have ended his career multiple different times. We have Jorge Martin, who just has talked about how much he felt like he was close to being dead multiple times this year. We just had Luca Marini, who crushed the entire left side of his body in Japan a few months ago. And I'm not trying to say this is a gotcha moment. We were at the Misano World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli, an Italian racer, a very, very close friend of Valentino Rossi's, who died as part of the sport and whose death irrevocably changed the sport. It is a horrifying thing to happen and to see, and for someone to platform. It's hard because you get one of these things where you're like, I don't really give a shit about booing. Like, booing is whatever.
But booing and cheering when somebody is hurt, those are not equal things.
I'm sure we'll talk about this more and more as the year, closes and the season gets tied up. But it is almost entirely, the treatment of Marc is almost entirely at the feet of like one person and one fan base. And it's really horrifying to see that, I think, in these moments. And I think it's very simple to turn around and look at Marc, who the entire weekend brushed all that off, said, how people react when I crash defines them. It doesn't say anything about me. He also said, people can say things, I will do my talking on track. And I think these are very healthy mindsets to have. But when people point at those comments and say, well, he's fine, it's like, no, he's actually not fine. He's just somehow figured out a way to make this work for him because clearly none of y'all are changing. And I think it's horrible. I really do.
If Taylor Swift can tell her fans to not cyberbully Jake Gyllenhaal, I think that Valentino Rossi can tell his fans to knock it off.
Well, and he won't.
And he won't.
I'm not here to relitigate 2015, even though I would love to. But I think there's so much to the fact that 2015 is clearly a wound that has never healed and will likely never heal. And yet, it is like indelibly tied to the history of MotoGP. Dorna never really talks about it. I don't think the journalistic ecosystem, the journalistic entities, I don't think anyone's ever really put emphasis on how horrible it is, on the treatment and on the expectation that everyone else fall in line. If nothing else, I'm so fucking excited Marc is like tying this championship up as quickly as he is and has clearly reached a level of talent that he has been capable of. If for no other reason than we are in the middle of a shift in perception of the way he has been treated for the last 10 years. Because suddenly everyone is on their soapbox saying this is a fucking problem and we're all enabling it. And it's okay, well, you're here, great. But it's been 10 years.
And yet, at your random fucking Hall of Fame gala, you have Valentino Rossi shooting the shit with the other legends saying, hey, don't you think Marc Marquez is a shitty person? Like, what is that behavior?
It's so fucking crazy. So if you didn't see this was Jorge Lorenzo. They had all of the kind of retired legends.
Except McDoing our king.
I think Mick probably was like, I don't want to come.
He was honored, but he did not go.
Yeah, I mean, fair. I think their cutoff was something like 2 championships or less, except Danny was also inducted, which is great. I don't think they did some posthumous ones either. That's a whole other thing.
They didn't do Angel Nieto and they didn't do Nikki Hayden.
Right. So I don't know what's going on there. Also, this gala was completely secret.
This was the most random thing to ever happen. And yet Casey Stoner still showed up.
Casey Stoner showed up. At this event, they had dinner. And there was apparently a table of all of the inductees. And Jorge Lorenzo posted like a panning video of like them all walking up to the table.
Social media icon.
Yeah, like, yes. Resident diva. Owner of a Ferris wheel also. I don't know if you saw that. That he's being like defrauded for or something. He took this like video, posted on Instagram and was like, oh my God, like we're here. And
close friend snap story.
except to everybody.
Except to everybody.
And in the background, you can hear Valentino, and you can see Valentino and Danny Pedrosa like kind of shooting the shit. And according to people online, so take that as you will, the translation is Valentino and Danny are talking about Aragon 2013, in which I think Valentino was like implying that Marc took Danny out of the race when ultimately there was like a series of events that led up to that is largely not malicious. Just things that happen in racing. For the like 10 seconds that you can see Danny, he looks like visibly uncomfortable and it's just kind of like, yeah, that was Aragon. Yeah, that was 2013. And Valley's like, yeah, Marc was crazy. And it's like, oh my God.
He's so mean girl.
Like, leave him alone, get a job. And the problem is you have one. It's so stupid. So we've really totally sidetracked from talking about Marc's whole weekend, but I think it's relevant because we talk about all of the jeering, I think, and the gestures and the cheering for his crash, which ultimately he wasn't injured, which is a great thing. Like I said, Marc said something about like, I'll do my talking on track and ultimately ended up winning the GP on Sunday.
Doing that,
saying, I'm putting it all on the line. I need to do this. I have this extra motivation, not only from crashing, but from you guys being assholes. So I'm winning. If you look at the race, it's one of the few races this year, I think that he really had to fucking fight for it.
It was a very good race.
It was so tense the whole time. By the end of the GP on Sunday, Marc and Marco were running laps faster than overall Q2 quali pace.
That's fucking insane.
And when you see them get into Parc Ferme, like they do their Parc Ferme interviews and Bezzechi is like, I'm dead. I am going to collapse. Like my body is dead. And you're like, oh man, like he just is like very open, hard on his sleeve with the press typically. And you're like, okay, interesting. And then they get in the cool down room and Marc and Alex immediately sit on the floor. They're like, I'm so tired. I can't do this. And you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
They're all going to pass out, which I was stressed about that just to continue the tense. But it is crazy after 27 laps that they are running faster than they were in Q2.
It's crazy.
That's an insane situation.
Max Verstappen type shit.
Truly. Speaking of celebrations, Marc also was like 1/3 of the fun celebrations this weekend.
And 1/3 of the third legs.
1/3 of the third. Well, he's 1/2 of the third legs.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
1/2.
Cross divide.
Leg and a half.
Yeah.
I can't do math. I've said this. Many such cases. So they get onto the podium. You start to see in the cool down room, Marc has taken his boots off. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Bez also took his boots off to put one of them on the wooden leg. Fine. So maybe Marc's just really warm. I don't know. They did just sit down and almost pass out, right?
Right.
Wrong. He comes out onto the podium, like Alex and Bez are already on the podium. The guy from Ducati is already on the podium. And Marc comes out in his full black skin tight fireproof singlet. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? And I say this as someone who is very much not a soccer/football fan, depending on who you ask. He comes out and like is holding his leathers in front of him, walks to the front of the podium, cock and balls forward.
We ask why they don't wear cups.
When we got confirmation that Marc doesn't. A second confirmation also. And he like drops his leathers over the rail so like the entire crowd at the podium ceremony can see his name on the ass of his race suit and the Ducati on the back of his leathers.
Very important that his name is not across his shoulders, it's on his ass.
Which is consistent. That's not just a him thing. Everyone does it.
Yeah, but still.
So apparently, this is a reference to Lionel Messi.
So I've heard.
Who Marc describes as one of the greatest athletes of our time. I don't have skin in the game, so I'm just going to agree with him. I'm not going to disagree.
I would agree.
I don't know anything.
I would agree. In soccer, I would agree.
Multiple people were like, do you feel like Messi? And he goes, no. He goes, I'm not trying to be like say I'm Messi. It's just like, I wanted to like honor him. And I was like, okay, I don't know why.
I think that Marc Marquez likes to lie.
Truly. He went on record, said he was planning it for like the last week. So
he was probably planning this while on the bike in Barcelona.
Yes, maybe before.
He's so silly goofy.
So yes, this was a celebration that was in reference to Lionel Messi. It's from a game that Messi played in 2017. He was playing for Barcelona against Real Madrid. He scored the game-winning goal and lifted up his jersey, like the back, with his name and number towards the stands in what is apparently a kind of like fuck you gesture to show like who the fuck he is behind enemy lines at this game, which I think is critical context for Marc deciding to do this. And I think that's where some of the lie comes in of he did this to honor Messi. And it's like, if I'm reading the situation and assuming things,
if I have eyes and ears and a brain
and reading comprehension, like there is something very, very critical to referencing a behind enemy line situation as someone who is racing for Ducati, the Italian team. I think it's just really key there. I also have never seen Davide Tardosi so animated as I have seen him on Sunday. He was furious when Pecco crashed out. He was anxious as fuck the whole race. And he was absolutely jazzed out of his mind when Marc won that race. It was crazy. And then you could see where that pressure is coming from.
It was such a weekend.
Capital W weekend. I want to say Bez is now 8 points away from Pecco in the championship.
Does that bring us to Pecco Suicide Watch?
I think it does.
I don't know how we say every single time it can't keep getting worse. And then it does.
It just keeps getting worse.
He didn't do press on Sunday.
Right. Yes.
Like, he's not okay. He's not okay.
He's very much not okay. I think he was. So Misano had a test on Monday.
Today.
Yes, today, the day of recording. He was quick at the test, but that doesn't mean anything. Testing doesn't mean shit because you test things. He was quick at the test. Him missing press is a huge, huge red flag. Pecco always does press. He's not the kind of athlete that won't go to press because he's like pissed. He'll still go. I think it's hard. We talked about this last week. I don't want to say the same shit every weekend, but he just needs to be less transparent, which I think is very hard for him because he, I think by nature just is.
Mr. Cellophane.
So
he is.
He is.
You can walk right through me. Talk right through me.
He is Mr. Cellophane. Damn. There's like a quote floating around from Gigi D'Aligna that sounds like he's being really mean. And the quote is like, you know, someone asked him like, Pecco's losing patience. What do you think is going on? Like, what's Ducati's plan? And he goes, well, I'm losing patience too.
Whoa.
And the full quote is, I think, genuinely very kind because the full quote is, it's human. Like going through this is human. Going through a downward spiral like this, like, is very hard to snap out of. The way to do it is with positivity. The way to do it is to work through it. And like, that's what Ducati's focus is. I think it's a weird situation in which like Gigi is known as Ducati's engineer. And so that's not really like a cuddly figure.
Position. Yeah.
People don't think of him that way because he isn't really. And so it's this weird situation where Gigi is saying something very like warm and supportive. And it's being easily taken out of context.
Yeah. I'll say this. Listen, Pecco, and I'm going to be real. Every downward spiral is also an upward spiral.
What?
Every downward spiral also goes back up. That's the nature of a spiral.
I feel like I'm learning so much about geometry today.
It's not even geometry. This is from the book Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. Every spiral that you're in, when you find yourself going deeper and deeper and deeper into a spiral, think of a screw. It goes both ways.
Okay. I don't know if Pecco's going to hear that.
No, but I want to put it out there in the world because somebody might need to hear it.
That's fair.
And Pecco should hear it.
That's what I mean. I don't think he can.
He ain't got no ears. He's cellophane.
There's not much else to say.
I am glad that he didn't do press.
I am too. I think like you don't need to do press sometimes.
Yeah. And I think that other motorsports have a lot to learn from that.
Totally agree. I want to do some quick hits from the rest of the weekend. Ready?
Quick hits.
Multiple times this weekend, the chain on the KTM bikes just flew off the bike.
Very classic bike problem to have.
Not one you would expect to see in MotoGP.
Right. One I would expect to see in my neighborhood when I was a child.
Right. Happened to me a lot when I was a kid.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Screwed up Brad Binder's Saturday, screwed up Pedro Acosta's Sunday because he had to retire from the GP. He pulls the bike over and like kind of screams in his helmet and then flips the bike off and just fucking walks away. It is the most relatable thing he's ever done, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Ayagura was injured again, which is like really fucking sad.
So sad.
He did not do the test. He has some pretty extensive bone bruising, according to Trackhouse, and he's going straight to Japan to head home, rest before the race, and try and get there in better health. Speaking of health, Joan Mir pulled out of Saturday's events for health reasons. He crashed earlier in the weekend, was complaining of pretty bad neck pain, which is a place you don't want to have pain in. All the cervical stuff in there. Your brain's pretty close.
Cervical?
Yeah, like your spine.
Right.
Yeah, I know. It describes two things. I've had the same thought.
Okay.
Central nervous system, all that stuff. He apparently spoke to multiple doctors, including, the MotoGP doctor, but also including his doctors, which is iconic of him.
Okay, second opinion king.
Right, which is not very common in MotoGP at all.
They are no opinion kings.
I just want to reiterate that the fitness test for coming back from a broken collarbone is doing push-ups.
Not even how many push-ups? It's like one push-up.
It's one push-up without pain. That you can lie.
You can just lie.
You can just lie. So yeah, I think like it's to Joan Mir's credit that he was like, I'm feeling a lot of pain in a weird spot. I'm going to talk to my doctors. I'm going to talk to my team and my family, and I'm going to rest for the day. He then decided to come back on Sunday and then crash out of the race in lap 1. He's fine, by all accounts.
Do these men have the memory of a goldfish?
Yes. Next on the list, the VR46 battle continues. Frankie and Fabio are neck and neck in the championship. Frankie is 1 point ahead of Fabio Di Gianantonio. And then I do just want to mention Kimi Antonelli had some really cutie moments in Parc Fermé on Sunday.
So
he is obviously part of the VR46 Academy.
He's their weird
cousin.
The ugly duckling.
He's like the normal kid to the Addams family.
Yes.
Alex did his little Parc Fermé interview and then kind of walked away, saw Kimi and was like, oh my God, hey. And like did this funny little like bow. Kimi was like, hi. They like chatted. Then Bez did his interview, made out with the camera a little bit, said how tired he was, how hard he worked.
His leg was there.
And then he went over and like he and Kimi had this like really cute like big hug and they chatted for a while and were like clearly friends, which is lovely. And then Marc had his interview and he and Kimi had a nice long chat. Love that. I wanted to give a quick update on testing. Big story is the Yamaha V4.
It is out.
It is out. It raced this weekend. It looked fine. It was keeping pace, not great pace during the races, but it was there. After testing, Fabio Quartararo was like, I don't like it. It's bad. It has the same problems as the current bike.
No.
However, I adapted to it just fine. I did not struggle at all going from an inline 4 to a V4.
All right. Well, is he making a play at trying to get on a different team?
Yes.
Okay. I'm seeing this. I'm connecting the dots.
You're picking up what he's putting down.
I'm smelling what he's stepping in.
Nope. He's stepping in something actually, which like just leads me to say, and we've said it before, silly season next year.
Go crazy.
Go crazy, go stupid. I'm going to throw my hands up in the air, all right, and say, hey, I'm going to celebrate and live my life because silly season about to be crazy. I think it's going to start literally in March, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Livery reveals, silly season.
One after the other. Somewhere in there, we might go racing. One other thing about the V4, Jack Miller really liked it, said it had potential.
Okay, not looking to change teams.
Here's the thing, though. Jack Miller's the only one out of the two of those guys who's actually raced a V4 in the last decade. So what's the truth? And the truth is that reportedly Fabio Quartararo is not the best developer of bikes. So who knows?
But he is the best developer of looks.
Sick pearl necklaces. But yeah, we have a week off. Then we're going to Japan.
Motegi.
Davide Tardozzi said they're printing the t-shirts. No, I know. But we have a week off, so we'll come back with predictions
next week.
Next week.
I think that brings us to the Great Wide World of Motorsports.
It sure does.
And rookie Max Verstappen.
Rookie Max Verstappen had a hellish weekend.
Rookie Max Verstappen went to his favorite little track, the Green Hell, Nordschliefe, which Helmut Marko said he wasn't going to do and then immediately did. Some things I love about this. This is the best racer in the world currently.
Yeah.
This man had to basically do driving school.
He had to go to a driving test and like a theory class.
He had to follow a driver around Nordschleife to learn the correct apexes and racing lines.
As if like he hasn't studied them for the last 8 years.
And I love that.
And I'm not even saying like apexes in general, like Nordschleife.
No, like specifically Nordschleife. He has that track memorized and optimized down to the teeniest, tiniest little pebble.
This is a guy who like 4 or 5 years ago, someone was like, what is a track in the United States you think would be really great for F1 to go to? And he immediately was like, there's a really great track in Virginia. And I was like, I know there is, but how do you know that? And it's because he sim races every track in the world.
He's so weird and crazy and goofy, and I love it. Sim racer Max Verstappen did get his lucky chance to finally race a real car.
Yeah.
And he did good.
Well, have you seen the video?
Yes. So his car was hindered. He did not have top speed available to him in his car, and he still finished 7th out of 19 starters.
I don't know anything about GT3, so I don't know if that's crazy.
I feel like it's crazy.
I mean, I thought the video was crazy, so I'll just leave it at that.
This is a man who, in his first time out in a GT3 car at the Nordschleife, set the track record.
That's crazy. I'll say that.
He's so silly goofy.
I love a man with passions. And Max only has 2, racing and gin and tonics.
He loves gin and tonics.
Yeah. So he had to do the driving test. He had to do like the theory exam. And all of this led up to when he had to do like, you know, the actual partake in the race with his little like toy car.
Yeah.
Over the entire course of the weekend, he had to like hit some requirements of like amount of time spent. And he didn't because there were issues with the car, I think, qualifying. So he didn't hit the required amount of like time and stuff to get his permit to race GT3 at this track. And then the committee met and we're like,
let's just give it to him.
Let's just give it to him.
Yeah. I think we can. We made him jump through all of the other hoops. I think we're good at this point. Like he did his time.
It's easier for us if we just give it to him.
It's easier for them if they just give it to him.
Could you imagine?
It's a lot less of a headache.
He's got a lot of fans.
Yeah.
And he would never pit them. But I do think from like a marketing and like awareness perspective, it's so interesting because there was all this talk online about how many people queued in.
Skyrocketed.
To their credit, from what I've seen, the commentary was really, really welcoming and educational.
Amazing.
And they were like, we love that you guys are here. Like, we hope you had a good time. Everyone I've seen talking about it was like, I had a blast just with the commentary. And so I think GT3, like manna from heaven was like, we know what we can do with this opportunity. And no one quite does that.
Didn't put it behind a fucking paywall.
Oh, I know. I could go on for days about this.
The first rule of getting people into your sport.
Yeah. Yeah. But I just thought it was funny. He shouldn't have a license or like a permit, but he does.
Good for you, rookie Max Verstappen.
That's his power.
Also, very quickly in the great wide world of motorsport, speaking of people who are jumping through hoops, Colton Herta.
Oh my God.
Is dropping from IndyCar back to F2. In order to try and solve his super license situation. And what I find most frustrating about this is that the worst person in the world makes a good point, in that Lando Norris says that the FIA does not value IndyCar or time spent in IndyCar highly enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's right.
Unfortunately, I do have to agree with Lando Norris, and that makes me sick to my stomach, but he is right.
IndyCar is so funny because I was talking to someone about it the other day. And they were like, well, is that just like NASCAR? And I was like, fully no, fully no, fully no. Understand why you might think that. I think that's fine. But IndyCar, I think, is like the lie you tell when your kid's dog dies is that you send it to a farm upstate to have like a lot of fun with a lot of other dogs. That's IndyCar, except like they are having a lot of fun in the farm upstate, more fun than they ever had with you. And also they're winning.
Yeah. Also, can't emphasize this enough, are going faster than F1 cars.
Right. Like, it's just so funny to me how people talk so much shit about IndyCar. And it's like, I don't think you've ever actually watched IndyCar.
Meanwhile, the only thing missing from like multiple racers' attempts at the Triple Crown is the Indy 500 because it is so fucking hard.
Right.
And it is so fast. Fernando Alonso went and did IndyCar in hopes of getting the Triple Crown and did the Indy 500 and crashed into the wall at 250 miles per hour and did not enjoy it.
As you wouldn't.
Rookie of the Year Fernando Alonso was awarded Rookie of the Year in IndyCar. I think people don't know that's where that joke comes from.
Yes. Also him being old.
Oh, mostly the first thing. He was old when he won Rookie of the Year in IndyCar.
How long has he been old?
That's a really philosophical question.
It was meant to be a joke from Twilight.
I also want to say in the great wide world of motorsport, there was a lot of racing happening at Silverstone and a lot of women finishing on the podium at Silverstone. The Alcabasi sisters finished P2 in the European series, I think. And then the Iron Dames won the Michelin Le Mans Cup race. I love Iron Dames. They are iconic.
I love the Iron Dames. I love the Alcabasi sisters.
Wait, there's more.
Oh my God.
Then Jamie Chadwick took home the first place trophy in the LMP2 category, and Lilu Wadu took home the trophy in LMGT3. Oh shit, we have to make our predictions for Baku.
We do have to make our predictions for Baku.
Well done, Baku. Let's just rattle these off. I'm going to go first. I'm going to believe in love, joy, whimsy, hope, the power of Daniel Ricciardo's dark magic. Max Verstappen P1, Oscar Piastri P2.
Okay.
Kimi Antonelli P3.
Interesting.
He's a little street racer. Have you noticed? Miami, Montreal.
This is true. Has he ever raced at Baku before?
I don't know.
Fail King.
Fail King, Lando Norris, praying on his downfall. What about you?
I'm also going to go with the Max Verstappen P1. I am going to go with a Charles Leclerc P2 because he does like it here.
He does like it here.
I think Oscar Piastri P3 and then Ollie Behrman Fail King. I know I've picked him a couple of times this year, but I kind of want him to keep racking up penalty points because I think it's funny.
I think it's funny too. He's channeling the spirit of his predecessor.
Amazing.
And
you can kill the man, but not the ideals.
Truly. That brings us to the grid as ... which for the uninitiated is a moment in our podcast where we categorize a handful of riders and drivers from across the great wide world of motorsport as a person, place, thing, concept, idea. And in honor of some really campy celebrations this weekend, I thought we could do iconic sport celebrations.
Oh, amazing. So first things first, Marco Bezzechi is the Usain Bolt lightning bolt.
Excellent choice. Excellent choice.
Also, Marco Bezzechi is the Usain Bolt stealing the camera from the photographer and taking photos.
Even better choice.
Right? Like, they both have this like showmanship, like true understanding of the audience and like how to perform to them and bring them into like this moment and how to kind of like mythologize themselves in a really approachable, like very weird way. I love it. So my second one is Steph Curry's like night thing. Puts his hands like here and like you're going to sleep because he is just beating you so soundly that you should just go to bed. This was such an iconic moment in the 2024 Summer Olympics when we were playing France. We were getting trounced by France, which was like, I'm sorry, France is beating us? Yeah. And within like 10 minutes, Steph Curry was like, no, the fuck we're not. It was crazy. I don't even like basketball. That's Marc Marquez because that is the energy I think he just brings to his career in general of like, no, fuck you. This is my house.
That's incorrect.
Why?
Marc Marquez is Brandi Chastain ripping off her shirt and sliding in her sports bra after kicking the game-winning goal at the Women's World Cup in 1999.
That's also a good one. I mean, here's the thing, Zoe. Two things can be true. Can I do a quick?
You can do a quick bonus.
It's more a shout out. I want to shout out Marc's most iconic championship celebration ever.
Baby Champ.
It is 2013 Baby Champ, in which all of his stuff was like a cartoon of a crawling baby and literally had the word baby champ on it because he was the youngest champion ever.
So cute.
And it's so iconic. I know a lot of people will love the Cunty 8-ball, and I cannot wait for the cat-inspired 9 Lives championship celebration that we are going to get this year. But Baby Champ is so fucking good.
Yeah. This is a deep cut.
I'm ready.
Fernando Alonso, notable jumper on podiums. He loves to do like a little jump, woohoo, type situation. So does
Mario
Marc.
jump.
A little Mario jump.
Jumpers.
He is Kirby Smart at the 2021 College Football Championship when Keely Ringo caught an interception against Alabama. I'll send you the link later.
Okay, because I don't know anything about it.
The man had an 8-foot vertical leap, and he is not an athletic man.
That's crazy.
Fucking crazy. On bad days when I'm feeling down about myself, I watch that moment and the reactions, compilations on YouTube, and it makes me happy again.
That's crazy.
And then for my final one, it is Max Verstappen is Sebastian Vettel's little cunty little one.
Yeah. Yes. Right.
Those two have a lot in common is all I'm saying.
Max Verstappen is also his own cunty 10.
No. Truly, or pointing at the one in Miami.
One of the cuntiest moments I've ever seen live with my own 2 eyes.
It was so good. So good.
Like, absolutely incredible.
Bonus, Isaac Hadjar is Steven Nedoroznik getting lifted up so hard by his teammates after pommel horse that his glasses fell off.
So this is just like a 2024 Summer Olympics like fan club right here.
Yeah. Remember when the last time we all felt national unity and joy?
In pride.
Yeah. So that brings us to the end of the podcast. Come hang out with us on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, or on our website at MotoMouths.com.
Shout out to our YouTube commenters.
I love you guys. You guys make me happy every single week.
You guys are the best.
Spotify commenters, step it up.
Maybe we should be more positive. Like, I think you have room for growth. I do want to say to Dale Ashley Nolasco, 5765 on YouTube. We love you. I did see your thing about Hamilton investing in LCR Trackhouse, having those discussions. I also saw Max Verstappen is looking into it. So who knows?
I don't want to just shout out to him. All of our YouTuber commenters. Lula Bravo, you're great too. I loved it. I love our YouTube commenters. Everyone else, step it up. And don't forget to like, share, rate, review, comment. Any and all engagements to help our podcast grow. We really appreciate it. We love and cherish every single one. As you can tell, we're talking about it now.
To our one supernatural F1 MotoGP listener.
Oh, I forgot about this.
I know you're out there. This weekend was the 20th anniversary of the first episode of Supernatural. And there was like a long interview with the 3 main cast members. And apparently in like season 2 or 3, Jared Padalecki broke his hand, and more specifically broke his scaphoid bone, which is the same bone that Jorge Martin had so many issues with earlier this year. And I think that's funny. I texted Zoe about it, and Zoe goes, "You should tell our MotoGP Supernatural commenter," implying that she didn't want to know anything about it.
And you got the implication.
There we go. So no, I did.
All right, great. Let's keep chatting soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.